Good evening, everybody. This is Cinnamon Noir.
And this is the Ramen Shaman.
Welcome back to Deltarune. Yeah, this isn't a very fun theme park. Although Susie mentions, if it is a theme park, maybe people left because there's no rides. It's like that idea about the picture of the cow eating grass. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's just a blank picture, and you show and you say, it's a cow eating grass. And someone says, where's the grass? And you say, well, the cow ate it. And someone says, well, where's the cow? And you say, well, would you expect the cow to stick around when there's no grass?
Nah.
Oh. Yeah, I totally believe that people who are speaking in a giant text prompt aren't my enemy. Oh, and now he's even less suspicious. He's wearing a cloak. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts. Oh, great. Exposition.
Okay.
This is actually a lot of exposition. He has a whole tale. I debated no, but I'll go with listen. I'm sure Susie would not approve of my choice.
I do like the idea of someone who's being introduced as a villain and just being like a massive blowhard.
Yeah.
Like, they have zero actual malicious ambitions. They just want to talk your friggin' ear off.
What makes you think this is a villain? Just because they're incredibly sinister. So,
I'm not even saying that's what this guy is. I just like that idea.
So, the original Undertale had a dichotomy between humans and monsters. This one sort of does a play on that, which is light and dark. A lot of the so-called lightners in this game are humans, but monsters basically are too. And there's another whole group of people called darkners who live in the dark. No idea about how this relates to monsters also living underground, which is dark, but, whatever. This isn't technically the same universe as Undertale, so maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Also, the universe of Undertale had an awful lot of natural light for being underground.
Well, let's not even get into that. Plot holes. Why can't I see anything in this game? Realistically, this game should be impossible to play. I actually love criticisms like that. Anyway, so yeah, the three heroes that we need to assemble are a human, a monster, and a prince from the dark. Angel's Heaven, by the way, not appearing in this game so far. This is just a demo. Technically, it's Chapter 1 of the finished game, which I assume, based on the length of this, I assume it would contain 4 or 5 chapters. If the full game is going to be in a chapter format, which it might not be. It's hard to say. This game could really go in any direction. In fact, I have some opinions on that, which I'll share at the end. Really not fitting right now, since we don't know anything about this game yet. So there's a dark fountain that apparently we need to seal off. According to this character that we know nothing about and haven't met before. But, let's just trust them. It's a video game.
Because this went so well in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Also, no, I will not shut up about that game.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't shut up about Undertale. But finally, since we're playing this, my comments are relevant.
I'm trying to think how much you do talk about Undertale.
The Delta Knights.
I
sing now of the Delta Knights. They live in Europe somewhere. That's a Mystery Science Theater 3000 reference. Oh, and Susie is denying the call. Which is, of course, part of the hero's journey, the denial of the call. But you have to reverse it at some point, and she doesn't show any signs of doing that. Ooh. Susie's coming in with the brutal put-downs. And bam. Welcome to the best character in this game.
What?
I love this guy. He just comes in on This isn't a motorcycle, it's actually a bicycle that he's set on fire. And he just slams that exposition character out of the way.
Is this Sans channeling Ghost Rider?
I would actually say this guy is more like the Papyrus of this game, but people have compared him to Sans because of his appearance.
Looking at him, he has skin.
Yeah, imagine the body of Sans with the personality of Papyrus. Only if anything, he's even dumber than Papyrus, if that was possible. No, this is Lancer. He's fantastic. I love Lancer. He's the best part of this game. He also has the best song, which is actually the only song from this soundtrack I have bought. Boy, that is a great plan. Beat someone up. So Susie steals it, because she steals everything, including Sean. So I check Lancer. Checking enemies in this game will not give you their HP, which I guess is appropriate since, as is per usual with Toby Fox, he doesn't want you to know when you're about to kill somebody. Anyway, have you noticed something different about the battle screen in this game?
Well, one, it accommodates for multiple people.
Well, obviously, yeah, that's a pretty big difference. So yeah, another one is just the way that the characters work. They move around a lot more on screen. And you can be damaged not only by projectiles, but by the character's sprite itself. And so I get hit there, and Susie takes damage. Which I think we can all agree is just a great decision all around.
Sort of the whipping boy mentality.
Yep. So one thing you can do, and in fact I'm going to do it a lot from here on out, is you can warn opponents about Susie. And then she won't be able to hit them.
I had heard of that because there's team battles now, you can't always control your teammates.
That's right. Well, Susie, of course, is completely out of control. Both metaphorically and literally. Oh. Punkaroos.
God.
Goodbye, losers.
Oh, Smell ya.
I love Lancer. He's amazing.
He does make me think of the rival from Pokemon.
Yeah, we haven't seen the last of him, of course. Y'all haven't seen the last of Lil Ol' Me.
No.
Oh dear, and this was the masked figure. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah, so this guy is actually like the Alphys of this game. And just like Alphys, he's insufferable and cloying. I say he, it could easily be a girl. Everyone in this game's androgynous.
It looks more feminine.
You think so? Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll just go with Ralsei. Ralsei is a prince, but you know, Toby Fox, so who knows what that means. Lancer, by the way, is also a prince, but Lancer is clearly male. Did you notice something about Lancer, by the way, his appearance? I'll just say for now that the shape of how his hood outlines his face is very relevant. Cakes. Great. Yeah, so all of the saccharine nature that Undertale had is basically distilled into this one character in this game. Toby Fox really eased up on that in the actual plot, but this character still has all of it.
Oh well.
Really? That sounds amazing! So now that I know that we can run, I'm just gonna walk, because seriously, screw you, Ralsei. I do start running eventually. I'm not determined to waste people's time. Oh, and look, it's a training dummy. So, unlike in Undertale, you can actually reject the tutorials in this game. And while I wasn't sorry, go ahead.
Does it try to shame you if you attack the training dummy again?
No, Ralsei is just... Ralsei's not very, backhanded about stuff. Ralsei mostly just accepts what you do. But yeah, even though I don't entirely know how to fight, I wanted to learn on the fly in this game, because I thought that would make it feel more real. And I thought, you know, if I did accidentally kill something, or let something get killed, that would add to the flavor, you know? I have had too much stuff spoiled for the original Undertale, and that has encouraged me to not read up stuff about this game. The only character I read about in this game prior to playing it was Lancer, because I caught a glance of Lancer, and it was just too good a character to not read up about. But everything else was a surprise to me. This is mostly a blind playthrough. And the fact that I never die, and in fact, I'll just spill this, never killed anyone, shows you just how easy this game is. This game's actually considerably easier than Undertale. Maybe that's just because it's a demo, and you know, it's just the first 2 hours of the game. But I was kind of shocked by how easy this game is, but we'll see that in a bit. So Ralsei just will not shut up. And I was turning to Ralsei at this point kind of to go, Ralsei, seriously, back off a tad. It's a good thing Susie wasn't around to hear all that exposition, or she would have probably eaten someone's face off. Actually, Susie's always threatening to eat people's faces off, but you never see a face eating in this game, which to me means it's just cheap talk. Anyway, we continue to do the thing that I start doing all the time in this now, which is to just dance back and forth across the screen. By the way, enemies on screen in this game are very fast. It's very difficult to outrun them. Pretty sure you can't outrun this guy, or indeed most enemies in this game. So this is a Rudin. I did accidentally damage it because I didn't realize you can press the C button a little too hard, and that'll result in automatically doing the fight option for the next character if you're not careful.
Oh.
So
Seems like a slight design flaw.
It's not a flaw. I think it's designed to punish you if you're careless. People have mentioned that happens in the original Undertale. I think that happened to Donkey, or at least he pretended it did. That he pressed C before he intended to. Anyway, Rudins are the easiest enemies in this game. You can sway them just by talking to them once. Well, you know something, Lancer? You're in my top 5. Even if I'm not in yours. So what did you...
I wonder how he'd react to that.
So yeah, Lancer ran into Susie, and Susie beat him up, so he ran away. And Lancer's the one who's been writing all of these signs that we run into that say things like, you know, turn back and don't do it. Oh, these don't contain an item that will help us, huh? So we shouldn't shake it. And Lancer flat out tells us it's him. So we should just listen to him, right? Because I like Lancer. No. Actually, you can just get a healing item there. But I do some things in this game that aren't entirely efficient from an RPG standpoint, but it doesn't matter, because like I said, it's easy. You don't need all the things this game throws at you. Oh, and Lancer gave us some very helpful advice, maybe without realizing it. He said the purple girl's over there. And that's who we're looking for. I do not know what that was getting at. A necklace of Rudins? There's only 2 of them. Although what that could be getting at is that they have a diamond pattern on them. So more than one diamond is a necklace. Maybe it's like, you know, how a band of apes is called a sloth. That kind of thing. So, there really isn't much that Ralsei can do at this point if you want to avoid hurting them. Ralsei does have a special ability which is kind of interesting, which is when enemies become tired, which requires a different set of options from sparing them. Ralsei can basically spare them in a different way by using a spell called Pacify. But to do that, he has to have enough TP. You gain TP by just narrowly avoiding projectiles. I don't know if you've noticed, but your heart has a larger heart that surrounds it. If a projectile comes in contact with that hitbox, it will raise your TP as long as they're in contact.
So you know when I made the Toho reference earlier?
Does that happen in Toho?
Oh yeah!
Oh, I didn't know that.
Central mechanic. Letting,
an ammunition.
Shots graze you.
Oh, so this has just turned into a complete Toho ripoff. Either way, though, I haven't played Toho,
not brutally hard.
Right. So Susie's done her worst thing yet. She ate this cake, which is burning for some reason. So I think burning cake is probably not good for you. Oh, and this is putting cake in your pocket's also a bad idea. Learned that from Kirby Squeak Squad. Anyway, so we have a Rudin here and also Hathy. Hathys are support characters. They can't do any attacks, but they will sort of surround you with stuff that makes it harder for you to dodge other enemies' attacks. One interesting thing about this game is that even after you've swayed characters so they can be spared, they'll sometimes still attack you. Which I think in Undertale that wasn't the case, am I right?
No. That could sometimes happen.
I see. So Ralsei invites the Hathy over for tea, and that is enough. Who can say no to tea? Ralsei does seem to be rather obsessed with miscellaneous beverages and snacks.
Yeah.
Baking cakes, making tea. I think Ralsei has never done much heavy lifting in his or her life. So here I do take one of the things. You get a dark candy from these trees, which is a nice low-level healing item. It heals 40 HP. Now I believe, like Undertale in this game, that your HP will go up if you level up, which means you have to kill enemies. But I basically do the pacifist run in this one, so we never level up. We stay at the same level HP the whole time, which for Chris is 110, I think, and Ralsei has about 70. Pretty slim, actually. if the game cut it closer to hitting you on the projectiles, I think it would be much harder because of the limited HP. But the problem is they're just too easy to dodge. I don't know if that is a problem because I don't know how intentional it was, but you know. Anyway, here's, the Maze of Death. Lancer again trying to demoralize us. But we find some treasure in here. It's a piece of armor. I think, like a lot of RPGs in this game, there's some armor that only certain characters can use, and other armor anyone can use. This raises defense, so I'm definitely going to put it on Chris. Oh, jeez. So can you figure out what these characters are supposed to be? They're based on a real object.
God.
It's kind of hard to tell, isn't it?
Badly drawn rabbits? What the fuck?
They do look a little like rabbits, but no, they're not based on a real animal. They're based on an object. Anyway, I'll leave that on the back burner for now. Hey, it's Lancer again. Oh no, enemies. Well, this is truly a difficult set of opponents. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this attack. There's no way to dodge it. Luckily, we don't have to. So, yeah. Lancer does not know how to put together a party.
Oh, I actually
or a
like
meal,
Ralsei.
apparently. I love that line. And that's unusual somehow?
Oh, interesting.
Now, when one is left, actually, it does start being able to damage you,
Does
which
it
is
keep
weird. 'Cause,
happening?
like, why didn't they do that before? But that is a scripted event, so... Actually, in my experience, mostly these enemies use the second of those attacks. It may be they only use that when there's one of them left. Like, then they switch to attack. So Lancer wants a cut of our EXP. And the money. But we say no. He was on the other side. If anything, we ought to be taking his money. But I don't think he has any. So Lancer's done running away. But not in the cool sense, just the random sense. Anyway, this puzzle's a little hard to figure out. It took me a while to find out what was really going on here. I thought it was just a matter of speed. But actually, you do need to cover all of these switches at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Which, since there's 3 of them, is kind of a heads up to you that you need to find Susie before you can do this. But I did assume from the first one that, like, there was something blocking the way forward in the next room I couldn't get past. Again, don't know how intentional that is, if Toby Fox is yanking the player's chain. But Ralsei will, inform you that you're being a dummy. It's so great to see you, Susie. Ugh. I hate to think of a character walking over spikes. Reminds me of that scene from Die Hard.
Ralsei is...
So yeah, Ralsei makes the very important point that Susie will not get out of here unless we all work together.
Also, I sort of mentioned this before, I think Ralsei...
No question about that.
What the fuck?
That's fine. But I don't.
What?
Yeah, so super slow fanfare for joining the party. And then she just leaves. Yay! This is a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
She helps with the puzzle, but we don't have to stand next to her. Except you do anyway, so, that was kind of a cheap talk from the game's perspective. Oh. Yeah, so Susie's never done an action before, because all she engages in is mindless violence. So here's a C round. Another thing based on a real-life object. Only this one's a little more obvious.
It's
So yeah, this thing has no idea what we're trying to do.
Dog face doing the camera.
And Susie gets pissed off because we're telling it to avoid her. That is correct. Very accurate, by the way. Good description. I didn't even think about the fact that it was doing the can-can. Although when you think about it, it might just be singing and doing like a goose step at the same time. That is possible. Because these guys are part of an army, just like real checkers. Anyway. So Lancer just put a sign here while we were gone, but he couldn't think to say anything besides the fact that it was a sign. So Ralsei tries to convince Susie, and it doesn't work. But Ralsei has another plan, which is, and this is true in this game, Toby Fox kind of made his peace with people who want to fight. If you get an enemy down low enough without killing it, Ralsei's Pacify spell will also work, because they get tired. Ah, tutorial. That sounds amazing.
I do wonder what the genocide
Let's buy a tutorial.
for this.
Because if there's one thing I want, it's more tutorials. No, let's just skip it.
Mean girl shines within you. Nah, Susie isn't a...
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Susie
Maybe you'll have to play this game and do it so we can see. Mm-hmm. No. She would kill him. Psychotically. So anyway, this guy's named Sham, spelled S-E-A-M, on the model of Sean. Yeah. It's like that thing where, who was it? George Bernard Shaw said you could spell the word fish, G-H-O-T-I.
Yeah.
Using the F from rough, the O from women, and the T-I from, like, motion. It's dumb. George Bernard Shaw had all these weird linguistic theories. You know, he dedicated a large portion of his estate to a spelling reform society? And this is his shop. S-E-A-P. Once again, Toby Fox carrying on the proud tradition of taking a joke one step too far. So this guy can tell you some interesting things about the world. In fact, you'll find out if you do some of the optional stuff in this demo, that he knows some very interesting things and can actually help you with some side quests. Also, one of his eyes is just a button. It is very unusual if he's a person, but it might make more sense if you think about it in a different way. And I'm not going to completely spoil, but just hint at. Anyway, I buy some healing items, and also a few pieces of equipment. Because even though we're not fighting, I like the party to feel, you know, like I'm doing something for them. Also, higher defense is always better. I do mostly buy defensive items, but I think at a couple points I buy a weapon just for fun. Because really, you don't have to worry about money in this game. Anyway, let's go do the tutorial, since we paid so much for it. Wow. $100, stop making tutorials. That's the greatest Patreon goal I've ever heard. That is clearly what that's making fun of. That is kind of, yeah, the thing. So this guy gives the game away. They are puzzle guys. They are all animated puzzle pieces. That is what they are. A donation hole. We should throw our money in that hole. That sounds like a good use of money. And now it's full. You can only donate $1. And it fills the entire hole. So, this guy will tell you about TP.
Fair enough.
I ask him for the secret thing, and he says, you know, you can only keep the TP in the same fight where you earn it. It'll go back to 0. Yeah. But Ralsei actually knows more than this guy. Ralsei tells you that if you have leftover TP at the end of a battle, you'll get more money. The other 3 characters all tell you about party members. So apparently Ralsei will be really happy if we give them money. But as Ralsei points out, he'll hug anyone for any reason. We don't need to give them money for him to do that. And Susie also loves when we give them money. What an interesting fact. I wonder what I think. I'd like to know a fact about me. But first, we'll find out about HP. So, if characters go to 0 HP in this game, you can actually heal them before the end of the battle and they'll come back. So it doesn't work like a normal thing. Which is kind of interesting.
Good night,
so let's find a fact about me. Oh, apparently I also want to give them money. These are useful fangs. I just love the fact that all these characters are like masters about you guys. Like, they somehow know everything about you. There's no in-game universe explanation as to why this happens. But, you know. Anyway. So, we've met the best character in this game and found our way through the horrible forest maze. And next time we'll do something else. See you later, everybody.